If you want to know what courage looks like, if you want to know what anti-racism looks like, if you want to know what social justice and equity looks like, you just saw and heard it from Ms. Andrea James. All of our presenters today, including our panelists, our keynote speaker, and our breakout session leaders, reflect what true activism looks like. For anyone who questioned whether today was performative, whether it was just another event, I hope that you took to heart what was shared today. Anytime people come together to share information, to be empowered, to be educated, and who are moved to action, it's never a performance. We're very serious about the work that we do here at UMass Boston, and we're very serious about the work that we're going to do here in the city of Boston. Everyone should have a program that you can take with you. You have a list of number of organizations that are presented today. We encourage you and implore you to follow up with them. My name is Joseph Cooper. I'm the Special Assistant to the Chancellor for Black Life. I'm more than happy to help connect you with these organizations. Ms. Cynthia Oriana is the Director of Community Partnerships. More than happy to connect you with these organizations. Families Justice is Healing, the History Project, King Boston, Black Joy Project and Road to Wellness, New Democracy Coalition, New Beginnings Reentry Services, Black Economic Council, Boston While Black, the Collier Connection, and 12th Street Baptist Church are just a few of the organizations that you heard from today. As we conclude for today, we have two final presentations that we're very excited about. We promise they won't take too long, but they're very special to us. We work really hard, and it is one or two progressive steps that we're taking as an institution to become a leading anti-racist and health promoting institution. So first, I will have Ms. Pilar Nelson come up and do our mural presentation, followed by Dr. Steve Neville, who will be presenting our call to action for our second annual Black Lives Matter Day. After Dr. Neville concludes, that will be the end of our event today. Please be sure to take any extra lunches with you. Please be sure to spread the word. The work does not stop today. As you heard today, the work didn't start today either. You can choose to be a part of the struggle, or you could be a part of the status quo. The choice is yours. We hope you join the struggle with us. Ms. Pilar Nelson.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? Perfect. My name is Pilar Nelson. I am a Community Director in the Office of Housing and Residential Life at UMass Boston. And I'm going to be talking to you today about the BLM mural at UMass Boston. So if you don't know, the BLM mural is currently located on the first floor of Resident East Hall, right across from the housing office. Currently, the Resident East Hall building is open to the public from the hours of 7 a.m. through about 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, if you would like to see the mural in person, and at various hours throughout the weekend. As a BLM Day tradition, established by the Planning Committee for the first annual BLM Day at UMass Boston, which took place last year, during each Black Lives Matter Day at UMass Boston, an installment will be made to the Black Lives Matter mural. You can look at your screens and kind of see a visual of what the current mural looks like for your reference. That being said, I would like to extend a special thank you to our mural artist, Lonnie Amato, who unfortunately could not be here with us today. To give you some background context on the mural, during last year's event, the first installment to the mural were the letters BLM and the words Black Lives Matter. And the colors red, black, green, which is identical to the graphic that you see on some of the t-shirts that our volunteers are wearing, as well as the graphic and image that was used to promote both BLM days for 2020 as well as 2021. As this year's theme for BLM Days 2021 is Empowerment Through Collective Leading, the 2021 Planning Committee thought it would be appropriate to add 10 names that will make up the second installment to the BLM mural. These names are not just common names affiliated with the Black Lives Matter movement, but are names that represent various subgroups within the Black community that are often overlooked and / or dismissed when it comes to topics of both police brutality and the topic of Blackness. I would like to acknowledge each name highlighted in the second installment of the BLM mural, along with a brief description of who they were and how they were murdered. Starting with Tony Medane, a 38-year-old Black transgender man who was fatally shot in an apartment complex by an officer in 2020. The next name that I would like to read off is Janae Thomas, a 33-year-old transgender woman who was shot and killed by a police officer in 2020. The shooting made her the 12th trans person to lose their life to fatal violence in 2020, but that fact remained unknown for weeks after Thompson was misgendered by both the police and local media. The next name on my list is Micaiah Bryant, a 16-year-old Black girl who was fatally shot by a police officer in Southeast Columbus, Ohio, in April 2021. The next name on my list is our very own Denroe DJ Henry. DJ Henry, a 20-year-old male Black college student who attended Pace University from Easton, Massachusetts, who was shot and killed by police in 2010 in New York City. The next name on my list is Sandra Bland, a 20-year-old Black woman arrested for a minor traffic violation. Her arrest led to her being jailed, and she was later found dead on July 13, 2015. Her questionable death led to outrage on how it was declared a suicide. The next name on my list is Trayvon Martin. On February the 26th, 2012, Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old boy, while unarmed, was shot by a neighborhood watchman who claimed self-defense. The next name on my list is Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old Black boy who was shot by a Cleveland police officer while playing with a toy gun in 2014. The next name on my list is George Floyd. On May the 25th, 2020, a police officer brutally killed Mr. Floyd, a 46-year-old Black man. After already arresting him, the officer used his knee to hold Mr. Floyd down via his neck. The next name on my list is Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old Black woman who was killed in her own home after officers entered her apartment unannounced for a suspect that was already arrested on March 13, 2020. The final name on my list is Ahmaud Arbery, a 25-year-old Black man who was shot and killed while running in Georgia on February the 23rd, 2020 by a former police officer, an investigator, and his son. Please join me in a moment of silence in recognition of these individuals who were just named. Thank you. Again, if you would like to see the BLM mural in person, it's currently located on the first floor in Resident East Hall, which is not too far of a walk here. If you're not familiar with the campus, we have a bunch of students here and a bunch of faculty and staff that can direct you. That being said, I would now like to turn it over to our very own Vice Chancellor, Mr. Steve Neville, to lead us in our call to action.
Thank you so much. I'd like to ask the members of the Black Student Center that are here with me now if they would come forward and join me on the stage. I'd also like to ask if there are the members of the Black Lives Matter Day Planning Committee, if they would also stand where they are. Thank you. This call to action is going to take the form of a petition that we are launching and making to University of Massachusetts Boston administration. I'd ask you to listen to this, and then once we launch this petition, we'll be sending it out far and wide and ask that you sign your name to that petition. This may seem like a small ask. It may seem like low-hanging fruit for the university, but it supports so much of what we do and what we intend to do and be as a university. So I'd ask you to listen now, and then when the opportunity comes, please join us in making this petition. It reads thusly: to all who are gathered in celebration of Black Lives Matter Day at the University of Massachusetts Boston, in keeping with the UMass Boston commitment to become an anti-racist, health-promoting institution and to honor the second annual celebration of UMass Boston's Black Lives Matter Day, the members of the Planning Committee, the Black Student Center, the Cultural Center Collaborative, and other members of the university community are petitioning university administration to the end that as the present stage of construction and reconstruction of the campus is completed, we will work together to ensure that artwork and artifacts that reflect the diverse cultures and backgrounds from which this university's rich community is constructed daily will be represented on the campus. An important byproduct of the Black Lives Matter movement is an increased consciousness that representation matters. A lack of representation results and has historically resulted in a form of institutionally driven perspectival blindness, the perpetuation of the dominance of a narrow cultural reality as normative for everyone, i.e. whiteness, and the persistent othering of humans that seek to engage in community with their differences. We believe that UMass Boston can and should lead in the normalization of cultural diversity in all of its spaces. It is time for not only the visibility of Black and brown bodies in our marketing material, but also for the representation of the cultures that these bodies carry within themselves to help them navigate this world successfully. Far from being just a performative gesture, we believe that our quest to dismantle structural and institutional racism depends on reconstructing the cultural aesthetic of our space in an intentionally diverse way, lest we be guilty of putting new wine in old wineskins. As members of the most diverse campus in New England, and one of the most diverse campuses in the nation, we believe that diversity should be experienced beyond the relative complexion of the student body or that of the faculty and staff, beyond the many languages that can be heard in the halls and spaces on campus, but also in the aesthetic decisions we make to express elements of the collective experience of the campus and who we understand ourselves to be. Even as we open up the campus to the incredible beauty of our environment on this peninsula, we must also open it up to the dazzling beauty of the cultural environment that is who we all are. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry. I'm definitely crashing the program if that's okay with everyone. This was not planned, but I wouldn't feel right as a student leader, specifically a Black student leader today, if students didn't get a chance to voice our own concerns and voice personal demands that we have ourselves and things that we've been trying to work on in the university. So, hi, my name is Kamaya. I'm a senior. I double major in political science and human services, so we're about to be out. And I also serve as the president of the NAACP College chapter on campus, and I serve as a Black Life PACE apprentice in the chancellor's office. Ashley, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Ashley Nicholas. I'm the current coordinator of the Black Student Center, and she's about to be out. I'm still a junior. I'm a biology major, and I've been working closely with Kamaya on a few different demands that the students have. Not that we're going to voice them right now.
In addition to everything that Dr. Neville advocated for, and also like the amazing coordinating committee of the entire Black Lives Matter Day, one thing that we just want to personally ask the administration for is transparency. In your legislation that affects students, in the coalitions that you build, in the programs that you try to implement on campus, also include students. We love it, we appreciate you, we appreciate faculty planning things, but it also really helps when students can be a part of things that are meant for students. Also, basic necessities like cleaning the Black Student Center, the rug, like things like that that could really help support Black students and make students feel comfortable, more spaces for Black organizations to meet on campus. That's also really important too. So if anyone has any questions, if there's anyone in here, I see the hockey team?
Lacrosse?
Lacrosse team?
Lacrosse.
We love that. The Black Student Center is right over there. It's on the 3rd floor. You guys are more than welcome to stop by. NAACP has meetings. Anyone who's here, you can follow the Black Student Center, UMB BSC on Instagram and UMB_NAACP on Instagram. So please don't just come to events like this, come and interact with Black students and see the struggles and the journeys that we have to take throughout our daily lives as students on UMass Boston's campus. Thank you.
And I just wanted to add really quick, on top of seeing kind of the struggles that we have, also come to meet us because we are some amazing people. There's a lot of amazing talent in the Black Student Center. There's a lot of small businesses in there. There's a lot of students who know how to draw. There's a lot of students who are really good at certain subjects. So you can come and meet us and meet like the real us, meet the personalities that are in there, because it's all just one big melting pot. There's not just the Black Student Center, there's the Asian Student Center, the Women's Center, Casa Latina, the Vet Center, and I believe I mentioned all of them. The Women's Center. Yes. So there's lots of different organizations over there. There's so many different people to meet. There's so many different people to kind of introduce yourself to and just kind of find different personalities that work well with you. So thank you guys for your time, and sorry for disrupting once again.
I just want everyone to say hello to the university Instagram, okay? 1, 2, 3. Hello! Make noise, make noise. You guys are having fun. Okay, sorry.
All right, well, that's all for the event today. The work continues. I want to thank our outstanding planning committee. I want to thank dining services. I want to thank IT. I want to thank our DJ, photographers, everybody who was a part of putting this together. I want to thank all of you who joined on the webinar for any part of the day. And I want to thank each and every one of you who are sitting here today, staying throughout to the end of the day. It really means a lot to us. We worked really hard to put this together. We'll make sure that the webinar is available online for you to share with family and friends. And we look forward to seeing you next year, same time, same place, with more progress being made between now and then for our 3rd annual Black Lives Matter Day. Black Lives Matter today, yesterday, and always will matter. The question is, how will you show that they matter? Through your allyship, through your advocacy, through your activism, through your actions. Thank you again for coming. Have a great afternoon, everybody.